Hi everybody, this is Boogas Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Neca Ultimate Dungeons & Dragons Strongheart figure. So before we take a look at Strongheart, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with a set of open hands. Up next, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Up next, he comes with these tighter gripping accessory holding hands for holding the smaller accessory. Up next, he comes with this knife, and this is what the smaller gripping hands are made for. This is the only small accessory that comes with this figure to use these hands with, but I'm glad that Neca did that, because the other hands that hold the sword and the hammer are too stretched out for a tiny accessory like this. So since Neca gave us these tighter gripping hands, he can actually hold that very well. Up next, he comes with his wider accessory holding hands for holding the sword and the hammer. Up next, he comes with his sword. Not a whole lot of sculpt detail to it other than the wrapping for the handle there, but it still looks very nice. Up next, he comes with a sword sheath that you can actually put through the belt loop right there, and that looks really good. It's sculpted very nicely. I like how it has the wrappings sculpted on there, and it has a black wash over top of the wrappings. You can also store the knife in it. You can see that the knife sheath is wrapped to the bottom of the sword sheath there, so that's pretty cool. I'm not fond of how it dangles on the figure. It kind of looks funny when you're posing the figure around, but I do think it's pretty cool that you can actually store both of those accessories in this. Up next, he comes with his hammer. Sculpted really nicely. The gold paint really stands out, and it also has a very subtle black wash to the gold parts. That looks very nice. And finally, he comes with his shield, and this looks really, really nice. It's cast in this very bright silver color. You get some nice texturing to the blue part right here. You get some very nice sculpted wood grain to the back of it. The only bad thing is this strap on mine came loose. I just put it over the hand like that. I didn't try to get it down in the hand, and it popped out. So yeah, I will have to re-glue that. That's a pretty simple fix, but it does suck that it came apart right there. So now let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. So Neca did a very nice job on this head sculpt. The head sculpt underneath the helmet is actually surprisingly detailed. The eyebrows and the mustache are sculpted really nicely. You get some different skin tones painted on there. That's just a really, really awesome head sculpt. And then you can actually flip this down, and I think that looks equally awesome. You can see that the silver has a very subtle black wash to it, bringing the details out very nicely on the wings right here. That looks really good. The feathers are sculpted really nicely, and they're actually articulated, so you can actually move them side to side. So that is very cool. His armor has some phenomenal paint detail to it. This is cast in gunmetal and has some nice silver painted over top of it, as well as some metallic blue right here around the lion. That looks great. It's kind of a shimmery gunmetal color, so that looks very nice. The chainmail is sculpted exceptionally. I'm blown away by how well this figure is sculpted. That chainmail looks very realistic. Even his gauntlets are sculpted really nicely. The straps are sculpted really well. You get a black wash over top of it. This metallic blue paint. The metallic blue paint looks very, very nice. Neca did a really awesome job with that. You get some more metallic blue down here for the, I don't know if you'd consider that loincloth. You also get some silver dry brushing over top of the metallic blue parts. And that looks really good. When you turn it to the light, you can see the brush strokes of the dry brushing right there. So that looks exceptional. You get some really awesome texturing to the belt right here. Surprisingly, he actually has some really good sculpt detail back here. You can see he has these chains sculpted right here. It would have been nice if we would have gotten real chains, but these are just rubbery chains. They're cast in the same gunmetal and have that silver painted over top of them. Neca did a very nice job on the fabric cape on this. It's made of a really nice material and it drapes really well on the figure. The only downside is it has this very flimsy wire in it. This is a very heavy weighted material, so whenever you try to bend it like that, eventually it'll just fall right back down. So yeah, this needed some stronger wire in it to actually get it up for poses. I haven't been able to get it into any good poses because, I mean, it kind of keeps its shape, but not to the degree that I'm wanting. The wire that's run through it is just way too thin to keep a very epic pose. So the cape is nice, but the wire could have been done better on this. He has some more really awesome sculpted chainmail down here on his legs. The knee armor is done in that gunmetal with the silver dry brushing, which looks really good. My right one is warped just a little bit because somehow it got underneath this knee joint. So yeah, this one is kind of warped because of that. I didn't even realize that it was like that because it was kind of tucked like this, and then I looked and it was stuck underneath the joint. So I did have to boil that to fix that. And even the boots are sculpted really nicely. You get some nice wrinkles to them and a very nice black wash. I feel like it's a little bit heavy up here and not quite as heavy down here on his actual feet. but I still think that looks really nice that we do get some paint variation there. The paint variation and sculpt work on this is crazy. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head and neck that can look up all the way. He can actually look down all the way. Let's go ahead and do that. He can actually look down all the way. He has enough clearance down here inside the armor that you can actually get him doing that. He can move his head side to side very nicely. As I said, you get a swivel right here on the feathers. He has shoulders, and they don't want to move out at all on me, even after boiling. So they really don't move out more than that. He has a swivel at the bicep, but as you can hear, it's a very tight joint. He has single-jointed elbows that can bend in that far, can't move side to side. He has swiveled wrists that can move side to side and up and down. He has a ball-jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back all the way. He can crunch forward just about all the way. He has some surprising articulation right here. I really thought the skirt and the belt would hinder that. He can move side to side very slightly up here and side to side very nicely down here at the waist. He has hips that can only move out that far. You might split the skirt right here if you move it any farther. He can kick forward slightly. He can kick back very nicely. He has a very nice thigh swivel. He has double jointed knees, but man, these don't want to move either. These feel extremely fragile. So yeah, I wouldn't force them any more than that. He has a swivel under his knee that can move side to side. He also has a swivel up here in the shin that can move side to side. And he has ankles that can move up all the way, down all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up here he is next to Grimsword. And finally here he is next to Zarak. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because this is yet another awesome Neca Dungeons & Dragons figure. I think out of the ones that I have so far, this is definitely the best sculpted and painted, which all of them are sculpted and painted way better than I thought they'd be. But this one in particular is sculpted really nicely because of the chainmail, the silver dry brushing, all of that. So he's a really cool figure. The only downside is the articulation could have been better. The knees and the shoulder joints, they feel like they are going to snap, and I am extremely scared of moving them around, and I feel like the bendy wire could have been better in the cape. Anytime a character has a bendy wire cape, I like to get them in a bunch of epic poses, but the bendy wire is so thin and it loses its shape that I really can't do that. But other than that, he is a pretty cool figure. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.